Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Real Estate Success Podcast. I am your host, Jim Ingersoll, and I've got some amazing guests, Donna and Debra, on with me, and we're going to jump into their content in just a minute. For all of our loyal investors, all of our loyal listeners, welcome back. If you're a first-time guest, it's really nice to have you along. Please pick up your free gift at investingnownetwork.com. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who takes the time to leave comments in YouTube or on my website or in iTunes. Comments, shares, and reviews are always awesome. And you guys are rock stars, the people that leave all of those. We greatly appreciate you guys. I've got some amazing guests coming up in the next few weeks. You're gonna love it. Some real strong deal makers that are doing a lot of deal flow right now. People on the street. This is a great economy for real estate, and a lot of people doing really well. And we got some really cool folks coming up. But today we have Donna Mixon and Debra Johnston with us. Welcome to Real Estate Success, Donna and Debra. How are you?
Terrific.
Woo-hoo. Great day.
And so it's really awesome if you're watching this on YouTube. You'll see that Donna's got Yellowstone Park behind her, and she loves Yellowstone, right? Yeah.
My favorite place in the United States, a little piece of heaven.
A little piece of heaven, Yellowstone Park. And real estate allows you the freedom to go, right?
Right. A lot of things you can do from anywhere.
So, Donna,
technology, which is one of our subjects today, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. For sure. We're going to talk about smart homes. But Donna, in your email, you've got a quote there from FDR. I just want to read it because I really love it also. And I noticed that it says, real estate cannot be lost. It can't be stolen, nor can it be carried away. Purchased with common sense, managed with reasonable care. It's about the best investment in the world. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. How did you go about picking that quote for your email?
Well, real estate is in my blood, actually. I knew I wanted to be in real estate when I was a teenager, and, I'm in my 50s now. So it's been a long journey and a fun journey and, lessons learned journey. And I just love real estate. It's, we do so many things in real estate, and that's what it's about. And when I ran across that quote, I was like, wow, how perfect. I'm like owning that.
How long have you been doing real estate?
Everywhere.
How long have you been doing this?
Over 20 years.
Wow, yeah. That is a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've been doing it since you were, 10 years old because you're in your 30s, right?
Right. That's right. I just say over 20. Too. I figure that's kind of enough,
Yeah. So what kind of things have you done in real estate over those 30 years? What have you been, 20 years? What have you been doing?
Well, I started off in the 80s in that recession. By the way, I've been through like 3 recessions in real estate. So yeah. I'm all about thinking about, hey, this is not the grass is green today and it's going to stay green. I believe in covering the downside. So I actually got in the 80s during that recession. And fortunately, when I was taking real estate classes, a guy was there doing his renewals and he said, what are you thinking getting into real estate now? No, that's what everybody else told me. He said, if you're going to do real estate now, you need to go to work for a HUD broker because that's the only thing that's selling. And back then, someone could pay $100 and buy a HUD home in fog a mirror. And that was pretty much how it went.
$100.
Yeah, that's what it was. So that's what I did in the beginning. And so that was very fortunate that I got that advice. And then as the market shifted, I shifted with it to regular real estate. I always seemed to sell a whole lot of new homes. And so the builders tried to recruit me for several years to come to work for them. And I said, no. And then one day I was ready for a life change and I called up my favorite builder and I said, okay, I'm ready. And they said, okay, come on. And so then I went to work in the building industry and I was fortunate enough to work for a builder that built over 2,000 homes a year in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Wow.
And with that company, they were so far ahead of the times. Talking about tech, okay, yep. Even back then, which was quite so many years ago, we could pull up what any house sold for in the Metroplex, what they paid for heat and air, what they paid for sheetrock, who the sub was. We knew profit margins on every house in the company. The company ran much like a franchise, so we all ran our own areas, and they were open book. So I learned so much that it enabled me for us to start our own custom home building company. So, so where my background was in tract homes, and I learned all about that. With our own company, we never built the same house twice. So we were from the napkin up, is what I used to always say. You know, from the little napkin concept all the way to reality. And that was a lot of fun. And, you know, even though I'd been through recessions, I kind of thought that one was going to last forever. But as we learned, nothing does. So 2008 hit. And that obviously, you know, that came to a halt because people weren't building those homes anymore. So, so along that, you know, then you're like, okay, what do you want to do? Well, we had another business that we sold in 2012. And so then we were like, hey, you know, it sounds kind of cool to be the bank. So we did some defaulted mortgages, and then we decided, hey, you know, with our background, it kind of makes sense for us to create our paper and lend to these guys doing fix and flips and new home construction, because we already have, you know, a lot of knowledge that helps lower the risk on those type of loans. And it seemed to be a huge need that we filled. And then we've grown into, from that, we've grown into not only fix and flips, but we really specialize in new home construction because we love it so much. And, you know, we do some multifamily joint ventures, equity participations, everything that has to do with real estate and money. That's what we do. And we fund all of that through private capital.
That's awesome. You're like a serial real estate entrepreneur. I love it. You've done a little bit of everything. So you started off as a realtor. You did, then you went into like selling new construction for the tract builder.
Yep.
Then you did like custom homes for yourself. You were building them.
Yep.
And then we hit 2008 and everything changed.
Yep.
And now today, you got, you know, your website, loansforinvestors.com. You do some multifamily and your hard money lending as well.
Correct. Yep.
And now the next venture is smart homes.
Yes. So one of our repeat borrowers that's already proven himself, you know, started talking to me about a year ago and said, hey, I found this land and I'd like to do a development. And I was like, that's nice. I'm not interested. And so, but by the time I left their office, I was like, you know, it's on my way home, so I'll just drive by there. And they're like, I'll go with you. And I'm like, don't worry about coming with me because I'm not really interested. And they were like, no, we'll come with you. I'm like, okay. So I drove to the community. Well, it's dirt now, dirt and trees, right? So I drove over there and I looked at it, and as I was driving up, I'm like, holy cow, is this location? What's the first rule of real estate? Location.
Boy, is that the truth.
Yeah, so location got me really excited because it's in the heart of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and in the middle of Arlington, which is, you know, in the heart of the Metroplex, in a tiny little city called Pantego that's surrounded by Arlington, and most people think it's Arlington. But the good thing about that is it's a small city that actually wants the development and is excited about the development and has given us coaching all along the way, including adding a few tracts of land that weren't in the original plan.
Nice.
And, you know, they're very excited about the project. We went through planning and zoning. We originally, when I say we, you know, we're the equity partners, right? So the builder developer's technically the owner. But so originally he had identified one parcel of land, and I gave him all these, and what I thought was unreasonable things to go back and negotiate with the seller. And 2 months later, I was in California, and he called me and he said, oh, I got the contract, and I just thought he was buying some more lots, right? And I go, what are you talking about? And he said, that land. And I was like, oh, okay.
So that's almost like Walt Disney, you know, you go around, pick up all these parcels, and all of a sudden you got Disney World.
Right, right. And so he had actually negotiated everything in the contract that I thought was unreasonable in this hot market. Let's put it that way. Not unreasonable request, but in this hot market, it makes it more difficult to be creative, right?
Did you know he was such a good negotiator, or were you surprised?
You know what? I did not know that. I did not know that. I have certainly learned that over this last year. And even Debra, sometimes she's like, we just need to let him roll because he is good.
So Debra, chime in here. I mean, what is it, do you think, that makes him such a good negotiator? Do you have any ideas? Have you seen it in action?
Yes, I have actually seen it in action. And what is remarkable is that it's all about listening. So, but it's not only the listening, but he understands what the end game is. In other words, so many people focus on what is right in front of them, and really and truly, his vision is for, as you were saying, Disney World, not just one little tiny thing. And so he has the bigger picture in mind. He's able to understand what's going on, and his passion comes through, but yet he is so incredibly reasonable. It's remarkable to listen to him.
You know, Debra, I'm really glad you said that, because I studied negotiating a lot as well, and I've had Chris Voss, who wrote Never Split the Difference. It's a great book on negotiating. I had him on this podcast, and I mean, he's like the FBI negotiator that's an expert negotiator. He said it always starts up here with your ears. You've got to be a good listener. So I'm really glad you said that. That's a key for everybody to take away. It sounds so easy. You know, my wife Cheryl says I don't even listen good to her. You know what I mean? It's something we've got to work on and get better at if you want to negotiate. I agree. I'm glad you shared that. So he went around, he negotiated these parcels, and then he called you back and said, I've got it.
Yeah.
And you were shocked.
I was in California, and I was like, huh? And I'm like, he agreed to all of that? And he's like, yeah, and I've got a contract. And I'm like, well, all right then. And so then we dug in on the project, and actually the cost to develop came back higher than we expected because of the lay of the land, and we needed more retaining wall than we were thinking. And so then in working closely with the city said, hey, why don't y'all pick up these 2 adjacent tracts of land? And that enabled us to lower development cost on each lot. And so he went and he negotiated, and he got both of those tracts of land under contract. They were actually zoned commercial. And so we got those under contract subject to the zoning being changed to townhomes. And so that actually was completed in March of this year, the rezoning on those. So yay, that's complete. And, so that's a lot of work. That's a whole lot of work.
It is a lot of work. Rezoning is a lot of work. How does the process work there in the Arlington area?
Yeah. So, and so the process, well, the builder engineer, I mean, you know, they're both engineers, so paperwork they can probably do with their eyes closed, right? So that's the really cool thing. Like I said, we already had a relationship with them, and we know how they work, and we knew how they attack things. So that's a good thing. And again, this is a small city who actually wanted the development. So that was huge. And I went to the planning and zoning meeting and the city council meeting, and it was unanimous. There were no objections. There were some questions, but everybody was totally for it and excited about the project. So that's awesome.
So how large of a development will this be? I mean, how many, could you measure it in acres? How do you do it?
It's just over 5 acres. Yep. And it'll be 58 townhomes total.
Awesome.
And there's some green space area where we're creating like a little doggy park and some benches and stuff, so that the community itself will have a little green space.
And so you guys going to create an HOA?
We are, yes.
Yeah. So are you going to retain the management of that longer term? It's pretty profitable, I would imagine.
I'm not sure if we'll retain it long term, but we'll certainly for sure retain it until we're out of the development.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right.
So don't want any homeowners having any authority until we're out of the development.
Yeah. How did you how did you figure out, like, what you want to do with the possibility and the opportunity to build 58 townhomes. You ended up you picked your price point. How did you pick your price point and the product you're going to deliver?
Well, originally, we were planning on doing a very entry-level product. And, when all the development costs came back, I realized, Debra and I realized after lots of analyzing, that we were totally undershooting the market.
Yeah.
And so there's a huge, huge shortage of homes under the 300,000 mark here in Dallas-Fort Worth. And that's my sweet spot. I don't really like upper end because, when the recession hits or any bubble in the marketplace, that's what's going to get hurt the most.
You've been there, done that before, haven't you?
Yeah. It's those lessons learned, right?
What is the median price in the Arlington area? Do you know about?
So the houses, the townhomes, the biggest competition to us there is in the mid 250s. And it's a big, huge master planned community.
Gotcha.
But they don't offer all this cool, smart technology.
Yeah.
So that kind of leads me to, all along I was asking the builder developer, I'm like, okay, so what are our differentiating factors? What is going to be the draw? If we're not going to be the lowest price around, then what's going to be our draw? And I don't think he ever really understood my question. And so Debra flew down. Debra actually lives in Minneapolis, and myself and the builder developer here in Dallas-Fort Worth. And so in prepping for that meeting and us all working on our master plan, Debra and I had done tons of research. The team had submitted things about names for the community. And I was like, Debra and I were like, these are all boring. And so
marketing's important. You gotta build your brand from the beginning. So
yeah, exactly.
So what were some of the boring names you saw that you didn't like, and what did you choose?
Like High Oaks, just those normal things that it doesn't mean anything, right? And so the builder is a Samsung approved builder, and so from the very beginning, he was clear that he wanted these homes to be tech savvy, right? And he's very proud to be a Samsung approved builder, and he's already gotten it approved with Samsung, has agreed to deck out the models with Samsung things at no charge to us, which is
nice,
super cool, right? And he's in talks with them about branding it as a Samsung community. So, which we're hoping for.
I didn't even know that existed. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we're hoping for that because then we'll get a lot of free publicity out of that, right? And so in thinking about the tech thing, and then I actually looked through every townhome that had sold, not like physically driving by every one of them, drove by tons of them, but in the MLS, we pulled up and did a study of every townhome that had sold in the last 2 years in Dallas-Fort Worth. What did it look like? What did it sell for? And I was like, man, 95% of these are ugly. There's nothing cool about them. They're just, they're a place to live, don't get me wrong, but
they're just like vanilla townhomes. They all look alike, cookie cutter, right?
Yeah, and so then I started.
They're a box.
Yep, they're a box.
They're a box with maybe a tree in front.
Yeah. And 6 boxes inside, one for each room.
So then I started thinking how much I love it when I go to California and all the rooftop decks that they have.
Yeah.
And I was like, I get really excited when I get on those rooftop decks. It's just cool, Right. And so I was looking through the names, and Debra and I had worked really hard together on thinking of branding because both of us are very conscious of that. And so it just kind of came together. Sky for all of the units are going to have some type of outdoor porch, but some of the higher end units will have rooftop decks. And so we presented that concept, Sky, Tech, Vista, tech for the Samsung and the smart home, the Sky for the rooftop decks. We presented that to the team when Debra flew in, and we had a whole meeting and everybody got really excited. Yeah. And so that's the plan, Sky, Tech, Vista. So
Vista. Cool. Oh, I got it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And
it brands what we do for sure.
So are you guys working on getting started on the land at this point, or where are you at?
Yeah, we're in the pre-development phase. So tract number 1 is currently owned by the builder developer. Tract number 2 and 3, now that they're through rezoning, we're working on closing on those here in the next couple of weeks. And then we're working through all of the pre-development things. And then the plan will be, so we're bringing in equity capital now. And then the plan is to leverage, less expensive money for the big project.
So that's awesome. And you're going to raise that in a fund. Now, we don't want to get into securities and stuff here, but if somebody has interest in getting information on that, your offering and things, would they just email you, Donna at tcbcapitalgroup.com, or what's the best way to proceed?
Yeah, that's the best way. Just email me at Donna at tcbcapitalgroup.com. That's Donna at tcb, Tomcat Boy, capitalgroup.com. Or my phone number is 817-994-7878.
And they can get the information on that. That's the best way to proceed. And I'll put that in the show notes on my website as well, Donna.
Great.
It sounds like a really awesome opportunity for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay, so what does your timeline for this project look like?
So it's about a 3-year build out
Okay.
to completion.
And when will you actually break ground and start building, do you think?
At the end of this year.
Awesome. Coming up quick.
Yep.
Year's almost half over. I mean, we're at the middle of May now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, these, as you know, Jim, these projects really, they do take a lot of time. So for example, the stage that we're in now, it's already a year in the making, right?
Wow.
From the time they spotted the land and then got the other tracks under contract, and you get all the studies and the engineer reports and working with the city and going through the rezoning process. It's like the tortoise thing.
Yep.
It's more fun to move dirt, but the paperwork has to happen first, and the blessing from the city, and everything is moving along really well. So,
but for passive investors, it allows them to participate in your deal in sort of a unique way without doing all the heavy lifting also.
Correct.
So you get to enjoy the passion of the project and
here's the heavy lifting.
There you go. Heavy lifting. There you go. Heavy lifting, Donna. I like it. Debra, do you have anything to add on the overall development and concept and things about where you're at?
I think Debra wanted to kind of talk about the smart home part of it.
Yeah, that's what I would like to talk about, is the smart home part of it. Go ahead, Debra. Tell us what a smart home is and how you achieve that objective.
Well, everybody talks about a smart home, and, what is really a smart home? Well, the easiest way to think about it is it's connected devices, and we think of devices being connected via Wi-Fi. But, these devices can control our lighting, our temperatures, our security, and even our appliances. But what's crazier? It could even do the blinds. So you can set them up in the morning or or with your cell phone and go, oh, it's a sunny day today. Yeah. Or it's going to be 102 in Dallas, and I want to close the blinds so it'll be nice and cool. But of course, it will be nice and cool when you get home, because your connected devices will know that you're on your way home and will actually up the air when you come into your home in the Dallas area. So those are some of the things that are most incredible about smart homes. You can control it with your phone. You can control it with a tablet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
There's an app that controls all that?
Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of different apps. Plus also, too, when we build these out, there will actually be a central hub within the house that will manage this. So in a way, each one of the homes will have their own app. So not dependent on all of these multitudes of little apps all over the place to control the blinds or the security system or anything like that. So that's what's really great about starting from the very beginning and creating a smart home, not just having a home with a lot of these little things all about, that they're all connected and all managed well.
What about like multimedia, Deborah? Like, you know, everything's important nowadays for music and video and I don't know, video games or whatever else. Does all of that sort of play into that as well?
Entertainment is a huge part of it. Yes, in fact, the really crazy thing about the stuff that's out there right now is that can you imagine being in your bathroom and you want to watch the morning news? Well, your mirror now actually has I'm going to call it a computer monitor in it as we do it. So you can actually touch the mirror and it will be broadcasting whatever news you want to see for the morning. And you're there putting on, well, you're not putting on your makeup.
Not me. Donna is. Donna.
There you go. There you go. But it's all right there. So you don't have to be listening from the bedroom or anything like that. Or the bigger thing too is that, you know, even the appliances. So you can set the appliances to set up that, hey, if you want to look at when when you need milk, it gets down to a certain level, the refrigerator will actually add you need milk to the shopping list. So when you're out, you can actually pick that up and you don't even have to worry about, gosh, what should I have on my shopping list? You can set all of that stuff up with the appliances. It's remarkable.
That is amazing to me too. It's like taking Alexa to the whole new level, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
it's like Star Trek has become reality.
Yes, that's exactly right. And when you think of where we came from in our, I want to say in our original version of automation, you guys, some of you guys might not be old enough to remember, but there was the clapper, clap on, clap off. Yeah, to be able to turn your to turn your lights just on and off. Well, now you don't have to do that obnoxious clapping to be able to do that. It's
I feel like I'm living in the Jetsons or something. You guys remember the Jetsons?
Yes.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. But what's most really significant about this is that in a study that we found, 87% of Americans actually see the value of technology in the homes, but only 1 in 4 of us actually have any of this technology in our homes. So smart homes are really bringing us to that whole Jetson Star Trek side of the world. And, you know, there's actually 4 really good reasons why to have a smart home. Would you like to hear them?
I'd love to hear it.
Well, believe it or not, you know, smart homes are actually safer. A part of that, the really easy one to talk about is the doorbell. The doorbell that has that big wide camera there, and it can actually see people coming up to your area, or as some people have found, they get their delivery from Amazon and somebody comes and takes it. Well, they see that. The other thing too is that smart homes save money. These new smart homes that we'll be building is all about your presence. So when you come into a room, it will know that you've walked into the room and the lights can come on at a certain level. When you leave the room, the lights go out. Wow. But when you take that into consideration, it's also doing it environmentally controlled. So you've got your temperatures that are regulated. So instead of the house being at 70 all day long when nobody's in the house, it can go up to, I don't know, let's say 80. I'll make up something up during the day, saving a ton on electricity. And knowing that you're on your way home from work, it will actually lower the temperature. And so therefore the house then is nice at that 70 degrees when you get home in that hot Dallas-Fort Worth area, and be very, very pleasant for you. But you've just saved all of that money during the day.
Yeah. And one of the things that I thought was cool that I saw was, hey, let's say, you know, like a girl, I'm out shopping, or Jim, maybe you went by the gun store. I don't know, you know, you get kind of excited and you're not going to be home as quick as you thought. So you can tell your oven just to turn down. Maybe you had something in the oven, you can tell it to turn it down to warm, and so that your stuff's not burning up. all kinds of stuff like that.
I like the idea that the lights turn on and off. It's like, as parents, your kids never want to turn the lights off and, imagine or a mother with 2 kids in her arms, like my daughter Melissa walking around with my 2 grandkids. You can't reach up and turn them off anyway. So
yeah.
Well, and then here's the other thing too, is that the kids want to sleep with all the lights on, or they come into the bedroom and turn on all the lights to go to sleep. Well, you can actually program it to sense when you're asleep, and it will turn off all of those devices. It will turn off the music. It will turn off all the lights and whatever. So really and truly can get really, really good sleep. So it's really good for your health.
You described it as presence-based technology. I hadn't heard that before, but I get the concept. I see what you're talking about in the vision there, Debra.
Yeah, and that leads into to reason number 3, which is about stress relief, because it makes life easier. And like we were just talking about the health side of it, you've got a much better, you're sleeping better, which actually is a core foundation that so many people don't realize, even to this day, how important a good night's sleep is.
I agree with you. I love a good night's rest. I like getting up early, but I like to sleep good when I'm in bed.
But the last reason here is probably what a lot of people are thinking about on this podcast here with your real estate, is that smart homes are easier to sell. Bingo.
I agree. So you guys should be in good shape. So again, Donna, if somebody wants to reach out to you and get information on how all this works, you want to give your email once more?
Sure. Donna at tcbcapitalgroup.com. So that's Donna, Donna, at TCB, Tomcat Boy, tcbcapitalgroup.com, 817-994-7878, 817-994-7878.
And if anybody needs like some hard money in Texas, or has a deal for multifamily and you're looking for some equity participation or something, go to loans4investors.com as well. Donna and Debra, this has been a lot of fun. I really appreciate your time today. You guys have some unique product you're putting out, which I love. And Donna, it's been nice getting to know you through the Financial Friends Network, of course, as well. We both rely heavily on networking, don't we?
Yes. And I've been involved with Walter and his group since before the Financial Friends Network existed. We were financial friends, but we didn't have the official network. So it's really fun. I love going on the cruises and just hanging out with people. And I would be amiss if I didn't mention Quincy Long and Quest IRA, because
super cute.
Yeah, well, honestly, we deal with a lot of custodians, being that, our investors, a lot of them are investing from their retirement accounts,
right.
Self-directed 401ks or IRAs or whatever, and certainly cash in their bank accounts. But a lot of people are investing in their retirement accounts. And I have to say, by far, that Quest IRA has top-notch customer service.
The absolute best customer service, like yourself, Donna. I've dealt with, I don't want to equity trust.
Yeah, we don't want to name them all.
IRA services, but Quest is simply the best. I agree with that.
They are by far the best.
Yeah.
They are the best customer service. We can get things done faster. I mean, there's times where people want to invest in things, and I'm like, well, what custodian are you with?
Right.
Because it makes a difference if you can close on time or not.
I agree.
And Quest IRA, they are Johnny on the spot, and they are so good, and I appreciate them immensely. And we have our own stuff with them as well.
Yeah, same here. They're great. Yeah. All right, Donna and Debra, thanks so much for being with me and joining me on the Real Estate Success Podcast today. It's been a blast and a lot of fun. You guys have a really unique thing, and Donna's been investing since she was 8 years old, so that's pretty good. You guys have a great day, and thanks for being my guest today.
All right. Thank you, Jim. Thanks for letting us come on.
Thanks.